Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday. It's almost time for a braai. We were off the plane recently and coming back from France, and we landed at Johannesburg at Oortambo, and one of the guys in the back of the airplane got up and he said, "Nou gaan ons braai." It's definitely one of those things that you miss if you are traveling around Europe. It's just a quick video to explain how I do my planning for my year, because people are looking for trips and trips are full and they don't see 24, so they are asking a lot of questions with regards to future trips. So I just wanted to explain to you quickly how I do that and what my process is, a little bit of insight into how I operate. And then the second thing is there's one spot left for Morocco, and I'm quickly going to chat about Morocco. There's a few things that changed a little bit and you might be interested. So if you did think about Morocco but the time didn't suit you, or you're still thinking about this or that, you have one more chance. There's one more vehicle that I can take. Then the trip is full. We are busy booking for our motorhomes already. I need to pay deposits as I stand where I am. So just quickly how I do trips for those interested in that. If you click on my 2023 tours, then you will see what I have planned for 2023. And if you go through the different trips, we have Oranje, Kahukuland, East Africa, Lesotho, Botswana. Then I have a private tour in there. Then we do Malawi. Then primates and Great Lakes. And there's a gap here, October, November-ish. Normally I try to keep November open to sort out whatever I need to sort out on my vehicle. But there's a trip coming here after Malawi. There will be another trip. I haven't decided what I want to do yet. It's going to be between northern Zimbabwe maybe, Wangi, Kariba, Lake Kariba, Monopools, somewhere there, but it is October, so I have to be careful of the heat. The other option I have is to do Lua Plains, which sort of floats into November. Then I'll do November and October the other way around, so Lua Plains and the Bats. That's the other option. The other option is Central Kalahari, a little bit like late September, early October, before it gets too hot. So that is the other one, Central Kalahari, or just travel around Botswana a little bit and do our thing there. If you have any preference to that and you would like to do something there, send me an email. Interact with me. I build the tours for this business. It's my business. I build the tours, and I build them from my mind. And often people would give me ideas and say, what about this? Why haven't you considered that? And I then think about it, work out a plan, prepare a trip, advertise it, and we go. So if I have a bit of space, then you're very welcome to let me know that you would love to do a certain trip, but just at a different date. Often there would be more people that wants to do it, and that then creates the opportunity to actually go and do it. Like the gorillas. If you can only do gorillas in August, then you tell me, because I'll do a trip in August in 25, gorillas in August, and that will work for you. You have time to save some money, do this, do that, and do the other. So that's the first thing. If you look at my plan, then there's gaps everywhere, and I can fit trips into gaps if it works for me. Quite often I have private tours that's not advertised, because people book me privately and I take them out to wherever they want to go for however long they want to go, and they do whatever they want to do. So there's a few private trips in my year, which means you won't see that I'm booked in some of them, but let me know and we can make a plan. That's the first thing. The second thing is, this is my plan for 2023. Now, once I go to Oranje River in February, I know what the roads looks like. I know that the campsites that I used still exist. I know if they've made changes, or if I want to do something different next time. Maybe I wasn't happy with the service, maybe this, maybe that. So I generally want to do a trip before I book the one for next year. So if you look at my 2024 tours, then you'll always notice that it's only about a year in advance that I release a trip for the next year. And it's because something like Serengeti, for example, I do the Serengeti, there's 31 nights, there's parks, all kinds of things, borders that changes and happens. And I like to do it a year in advance and then release the one for the next year. So it's not like there's not going to be more trips in 2024. I just need to make sure that everything is still like I understand it to be. Last thing I want to do is plan a trip 18 months in advance, do the 23 one, and then realize, but a lot of these things we can't do anymore. And then I have to cancel things, and it's egg on my face. So I like to just hold back a little bit until I can confirm that what the trip I just did will work. For example, Kukuland is happening now in April. As soon as I come back from Kukuland, I will know exactly which campsites have changed, what do I want to do differently, did some of the roads change perhaps, and I need to change something there. Now Kukuland already is taking bookings, so I also pay all these things up front. So there's not too much that I'm worried about that Kukuland will be different. So Kukuland is already on the website. And then Morocco, we have to plan well in advance. So Morocco is also on the website. So if you go onto the website, you'll see that there's very few things in 2024 to do. And that puts me in a little bit of a tight spot because for 2023, my trips are fully booked. If you want to book for something, there's nothing left. It's all full. That's why I'm working on an additional tour that we can do where I have gaps. So send me your email, tell me what you want to do, and I'll see what I can fit, where I can fit it, and how many people you think you can bring. And it makes life easier for me. My groups, if I do trips, generally would be about 6 vehicles. I don't like to go with too many vehicles because it becomes impersonal. And I'm not just a money-making machine. I also share a passion for the bush. And that passion I can only enjoy when people enjoy it with me. If it feels like we're just part of a horse machine, then that's not what I want to do. I don't want to have 20 or 25 vehicles on a trip. It's a lot of money for me, big profits, always great business-wise, but I'm not sharing my passion because I can't get to everybody. So I try to keep the trips around about 6 vehicles, 12 people, 7 vehicles, 14 people, depending on how many singles I have. So you'll always see the groups would be between 5 and 8 vehicles, somewhere there. I've done 9 before, and that was rough. I've done 10 before, and that was too much. So that's part of the philosophy. So if you look at my plan and you see limited trips, realize that next year, 2024, is going to look very similar with maybe a few changes where I take one trip out and I plonk another one in, or I change dates because there's different seasons to do things. But the destinations at this point as the flow goes, is more or less what you see on the 2023 plan. So if you want to join one of these trips, then you let me know. Look, I want to do your Botswana trip for 24. Put my name up on the list, and then I keep list of who wants to do which trips. And when the trip comes out, they are the people that get first bite to go on those trips. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. It's not a problem. Then I advertise it and I get more people. But if you told me what you wanted to do for 24, even if it's not on the website, then you can gladly, you can tell me, your name goes on the list, and you have first bite once those trips are released. For example, my Kukuland trip for next year had 3 bookings before I even released the trip itself. The Morocco trip had a booking before I even released the Morocco trip. So quite often I have bookings for trips that haven't been released yet, but people want to go. They know more or less where my destinations are, and they want to do that one, and they want to do that one. So let me know. Your name goes on a list, and as soon as that trip is released, normally about a year before, then you'll be the first one to have a bite at that one. If you give me an idea for October, November, what we can do, and you're keen to go with, then once that trip goes out, you are the first one that will get an opportunity to book on that trip. And if it's a trip that's already there and you just want to duplicate it because you can't get space on it, so Botswana is full, you want to do Botswana, just say, well, I want to do Botswana, but it's full. So just do another one. And then I think about it, and if it works, then we release a Botswana. Cool, so that's the way it works. So if you go to my 2024 trips, you'll see that there's only Kukuland and Morocco that's happening at this point in time. But it's not the only trips I'm going to do, it's just the ones that I can confirm. I'm working on my East Africa one, which will be after Morocco. And it's a few things that I need to think about because there's a few private trips also that I need to accommodate for 2024. So quickly back to Morocco. As I say, there's space for one vehicle. If you want to go and the dates didn't suit you or something didn't work for you, have a look again at our dates. Our dates did change. It went later in the year to 23 April. We're meeting in Marrakesh on 23 April. It is 19 nights in a luxury motorhome, self-drive. And that price includes the motorhome rental. It includes all your camping. It includes the first 2 nights accommodation in Marrakesh in a hotel. And my guest that has already booked on this came back to me and said, you're going to Merzouga, but only for 2 nights. Can we do Merzouga maybe for an extra night, because there's some activities that we want to do in Merzouga. They do camel rides, and you go out and you have a sleep in the Sahara Desert for the night. There's quite a few things that you can do there. So we already discussed that we can actually change a few of our dates, just do something a bit earlier and something a bit later, and then work in a 3rd night in Merzouga. And that's also how I try to do it with my groups, especially these trips, which is quite complicated to organize, but small groups, and this is a small group. It's easier to manage the trip itself. Botswana is Botswana, and we're very much set in what we normally do in Botswana. But Morocco, if one of the guests, it's a once in a lifetime type trip. So if a guest says, well, I need another day here because I want to visit this place and I've read about it, then we make a plan. We work it in. I can do something else with the rest of the group. You split off, you do your thing. So there's many ways to do this. But if you want to go, let me know. One vehicle, space for one vehicle. That's it. Otherwise, it's full. I'm busy paying my deposits for the motorhomes. Everything is sorted. So it's now a question of do it and off we go. Per person, 43,000 divided by 12 is like 3,500 Rand a month for the next year. And there's not a lot of other extra cost on that. It's your airplane ticket to get there and back, which 2 months before the time is normally at the cheapest. But if you save 3,500, 4,000 Rand a month, then that's it. You're done. You are going to Morocco. So if you're interested, let me know. If you are interested in trips that's not on my website, let me know. If you know about it of 4 or 5 years back and you want to do a similar one, remind me. I'll revisit that trip. And if you don't see trips more than a year away, then it's not that it's not going to happen, but I try to release them as I just finished this year's version so that I have the most updated information to do the next year's trip, rather than book stuff and cancelling it. I don't like cancelling things. Cool. Have a good weekend. Stay safe on Monday for whatever is happening on Monday. It sounds like things might be fizzling out a little bit. And enjoy your Tuesday. Your public holiday on Tuesday. Enjoy it. And let me know if you have some plans. Otherwise, have a great day. Stay safe. Cheers.